Alice in Borderland is the kind of show that will edge you consistently thinking you know everything, only to have the rug pulled out from under you like a meme coin and leave you with more questions than answers. And if you're a fan of Squid Game, this is definitely a show for you, as, in my opinion, it's a hell of a lot better than Squid Game ever was. Long story short, we follow this character known as Oddisu. Him and his two other friends are projected into a world known as Borderland. At least we don't figure that out till the very end. Basically, Oddisu is a down-on-his-luck gamer who suddenly finds himself in a completely abandoned Tokyo. But here's the twist. His friends quickly realize they're trapped in a deadly game where survival isn't just a choice, it's the only option. The only way to stay alive is to compete in brutal, high-stakes challenges that test their intelligence, strength, and more importantly, their will to live. Now, what sets Alice in Borderland apart from other survival thrillers? First off, the world building is insane. The eerie, empty streets of Tokyo create this unsettling post-apocalyptic vibe that immediately pulls you in. The show doesn't waste any time throwing you into chaos. With the first episode, you're already experiencing the intensity of life or death games. And once the game starts, you're hooked. Now, what really brings this show together in both season 1 and 2 are the characters. Oddisu, played brilliantly by Kento Yamazaki, is a reliable protagonist with incredible depth. He starts off as a slacker with no real direction, but as the series progresses, his strategic mind and raw determination makes him one of the most compelling leads in a survivor thriller. We then have Usagi, played by Tao Tsuchiya, a fierce and resourceful climber who proves time and time again she's not just a supporting character. She's a powerhouse in her own right. Followed by many other characters who have just as much importance as both Usagi and Oddisu. As for the games themselves, the games are where the show truly shines. Each challenge is uniquely designed to push the players to their absolute limits. Whether it's a test of intelligence, physical endurance, or sheer psychological warfare, some games require brute strength, while others demand teamwork and trust. And then there are ones that make you question everything you thought you knew about human nature. The intricacies of the games are mind-blowing. Take 7 of Hearts from Season 1. One example is the players are forced into a brutal psychological battle that pits them against their closest friends, making for one of the most emotionally devastating moments in the series, which honestly, in my opinion, propels Oddisu to finally realize why he's there to begin with, and actually give him a reason to fight further from there on out. The first season involved them figuring out what kind of world they're in, what kind of danger they're in, and how they have to survive. But in Season 2, the stakes are even higher. The face card games introduce even more intense psychological warfare and physical challenges. One of the most memorable is the King of Spades, where Oddisu and his friends are relentlessly hunted into terrifying battle for survival. This season also introduces new characters like the Ematic Kuma, who brings a philosophical edge to the competition, challenging Oddisu in ways beyond just brute force. The themes of morality, survival, and human nature are explored in much greater depth, making the series even more gripping. And I will say Season 2 is even more brutal than the first season, as the kings, queens, and jacks don't mess around, and they honestly just get straight to the point. The one thing I really liked about Season 2 more than I did Season 1 was the fact that it focused more on other players than it did Oddisu. For example, Chishiya. Chishiya is basically the exact carbon copy of Oddisu, just a bit better. Seeing their story and how they played their games along with other characters and how they played their games was something that I was not expecting but really liked. Another thing I really liked about both seasons was the cinematography and special effects. The show is visually stunning. The empty streets of Tokyo create this eerie, almost dreamlike atmosphere that makes you feel just as lost as the characters, and the way the action sequences are filmed are absolutely top tier. Every chase, battle, every game is captured in a way that maximizes tension, making you feel like you're right there, fighting to survive. And the most important thing I think that really made this series was the music. The music beyond anything else was fantastic. The music played a crucial role in elevating the tension. The hauntingly beautiful soundtrack composed by Yutaka Yamada amplifies every moment, whether it's the pulse-pounding intensity of a high-stakes game or the quieter emotional beats that make you connect with the characters. The mix of electronic beats and orchestral swells enhances the show's unique atmosphere, making each moment feel cinematic and impactful. But as with any show, the one thing that makes it is the pacing. The show does a very good job of fleshing out everything to make you think that you know everything, only to have it pulled out from under you to where you don't know anything. And I believe they did an excellent job of executing that in a way that hasn't been done before. I believe Season 2 did a better job of that than Season 1, which is honestly kind of good considering Season 3 has been confirmed and will be coming out shortly. But one of my favorite things about Alice in Borderland is how it's able to balance emotional depth. The show is packed with intense, heart-pounding moments, but it also gives you the time to connect with the characters. You start caring about their backstories, their motivations, and their relationships, which makes every twist and betrayal hit that much harder. And when it comes to emotion and music, it doesn't hold back. And it actually gets you. It got me a few times. And as for that final sequence within Season 2, I knew that was going to be the case the moment they mentioned anything about cards. Spoiler warning, the Joker card is the next big game. Within Season 2, we're led to believe towards the end that the Queen of Hearts was going to be the last and final game. Right before she dies, she tells Arisu that they'll be given 2 choices. Either one they choose, they will know the answer of what actually happened. We're then introduced to the real reason as to why everything happened, quote unquote. A meteor exploded over Tokyo and killed off the same people that managed to die in the games, as opposed to the people who survived and managed to live. But thing is, nobody knows one another, which leads me to believe that this reality that they know of isn't actually the reality. It's just another game, which is the start of the Joker game. Which leads to the question of who is actually running these games, and what is next after Season 3 comes out. But overall, I think it was a great series. In my opinion, a top-notch, must-watch series that doesn't get enough praise for the amount of work that was put into it. But my question is, if you have seen it, what did you think about the first and second seasons? What's in store for the third season? And how do you think the characters are going to react, realizing that the games are not over? Drop your thoughts down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.